Welcome to another episode of 6th grade math. So today we are going to focus on skip counting and simplifying. So this is when we have fractions, and when you are working with fractions, your answer is never going to be an answer choice. So let's get into an example and kind of see what that means. So it says, which of the following is equivalent to 8 twelves? So we are going to highlight that word equivalent. Okay, highlight equivalent. And hopefully we know that equivalent means equal. So maybe not the same numbers, but they still mean the same value. So we have 8 over 12. 8 over 12 is what we are looking for. And if you notice, none of my answer choices say 8 over 12. They all have different numbers. So the first thing I want to get rid of is my Joe Schmo. And my Joe Schmo is A, because you cannot just flip a fraction, because this is 8 twelfths right here. Sorry, this is 8 twelfths, 12 over 8. These are not the same thing. You can't just flip a fraction and say they're the same thing. So A is my Joe. I know that's definitely not going to be my answer. But if you notice, B has 2 different numbers, C has 2 different numbers, and D has 2 different numbers, all that are different from 8 over 12. So we need to decide what's equivalent. And we're going to first start with skip counting, okay? So if I have 8 over 12, so let's write that down here, 8 over 12. When I say skip counting, I'm literally talking about like when we multiply. So I'm going to write out my 8s, 8, 16, 24. So when I do that skip counting, my numbers are going to get bigger. The only answer choice that is bigger than 8 over 12 is 16 over 36. So I'm going to skip count 8 over 12 to see if it will give me C, 16 over 36. So when I skip count, I'm going to skip count the 8s on top. So 8, 16, which looky there, that's the top number I need, okay? But if I skip count the bottom, 12, 24. So 2 12s gives me 24. So this is C. I don't have 16 over 24. I have 16 over 36. So my top numbers match, but my bottom numbers do not. So C is now out because it is not giving me what I want. So now, if we keep skip counting 8 over 12, we're just going to get bigger. And notice both of these are smaller than 8 over 12. So if I need my answer to be smaller, I have to take my answer choices and skip count those to see if I can get to 8 over 12. So I'm going to start with B. B is 2/3. And I, again, want to see if I can get to 8 over 12 with that skip counting. So let's skip count. Let's do the 2 all the way to 8 because I need an 8 for my top number. So 2, 4, and then space these out a little bit. 6, 8, because these are fractions. Okay, we're making equivalent fractions. Okay, so again, I want the 8 because that's what's on top. Hopefully this will give me a 12 on the bottom. So now we're skip counting by 3s. So 3, 6, 9, 12. So do we have a match? Yes, we do. So the equivalent answer would be B, because when I skip count 2/3, it eventually will get me to 8 twelfths. So those 2 fractions are equivalent, okay? Now we can talk about simplifying. So simplifying is also a really good skill to have. So when we simplify, we are going to take that 8 over 12, okay? And we are going to start dividing that fraction and make it simpler. We're going to make the numbers smaller. And I usually start with the 2, 3, 5 method. So that's why it says 2, 3, 5. Because the first thing we're going to do is we're always going to see, can I divide 8 by 2? And a good way to do that is if I count by 2s, can I get to 8? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yes, I can. So I can divide 8 by 2. If I count by 2s, can I get to 12? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yes, I can. So when I say divide by 2, we are dividing both by 2. So we do 8 divided by 2. Sorry, let me rewrite that a little bit differently. We have to do the top and the bottom, so divided by 2. They have to be the same number. You can't divide one a different number. Those have to be the same. Okay, so 8 divided by 2 is 4. Again, a way to do that is count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8. How many fingers do you have up? 4. So count by 2s until you get to 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's 6. Okay? So right now I have 4 over 6. That is still not an answer choice up here. Okay? So we have to simplify again. So can I simplify by 2 again? 2, 4? Yes. 2, 4, 6? Yes. So I'm going to simplify by 2 again. So that would give me 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. And that is where we get that 2/3, which is what we already did up here. Okay? I'm going to go one step further here. And notice I simplified twice. So I could have actually simplified by a different number. So 8 over 12. Can I simplify by 3? So 3, 6, 9. I cannot get 8 with a 3. I can get a 12, 3, 6, 9, 12, but I can't for the 8. So we can't simplify by 3. So the next number I would go to is a 4. And I know I don't have a 4 here, but these are just the easiest ones. So I could technically simplify by 4, because 4, 8, and then 4, 8, 12. So divided by 4, divided by 4. And then 4, 8, that's 2. 4, 8, 12, that's 3. And again, the reason we can do that is because we simplified by 2 twice, and 2 2s give me a 4. So both of these will give you the same answer. And then that is how we can use skip counting or simplifying to find equivalent fractions.